Hello everyone, my name is Moji, and you're watching Bitcoin Bubble News Channel. Also, I feel bad for many young people who have never seen a bear market. If you got into this business after 2008, you only know how to buy when prices are low. I think the price of Bitcoin will be over $100 by the end of this year and around $200 in a year or two. I also think it's happening faster as the loops are getting faster and the amounts are getting bigger, etc. Many people have different ideas about what that means. Does that mean that Bitcoin will become very popular in the 1930s? I think that's a pretty good chance. I think the power law is a pretty good model, and I know this will make some people mad at me in return. We might be able to break it to the upside, but 15 years or close to 15 years of price data, because the early years were not very stable, is a 97% connection that you can't ignore. Lepard starts by recognizing that both gold and Bitcoin have value on their own. He says that gold is like good money from the past. It is a reliable form of wealth that has been around for thousands of years. Bitcoin, on the other hand, is the new digital version of this, and it changes the way value is kept and sent in a revolutionary way. Lepard is hopeful about the future of Bitcoin. He says that Bitcoin has already shown that it is strong by making it through several boom and bust cycles, and he thinks this will continue. He thinks that the price of Bitcoin will keep going up and could hit hundreds of thousands of dollars in the next few years. He does warn, though, that there will be a lot of instability along the way as the current monetary system changes, which it has to. This video has been liked, subscribed to, and post alerts have been turned on. Please take a moment to do these things. You can also watch our other videos about cryptocurrencies and digital assets in general. Please share your thoughts and comments in the part below. For the channel's growth, everything you do is very helpful for the YouTube system. Thanks, and have fun with the movie. These two things are going to move. I believe Bitcoin will go further and faster. That means they are both good money. Bitcoin is the new computer world, and gold is the one from the old world. You should know that Bitcoin is ahead of the curve when it comes to digital usage. And as you know, Sailor and I always say, it's a $1 trillion market cap in a group of assets worth more than $400 trillion. Some of those people will quickly realize that this is a better way to spend their money or trade their money, whatever you want to call it. So, I think we're going to charge a lot more, believe me. A long time may mean 10, 20, 30, or even 40 years. When I say over time, this isn't tomorrow. There are 8 billion people in the world, and most of them haven't heard of Bitcoin or aren't interested in it. But most of them also know that gold is real money. As an example, people in India and China don't know what Bitcoin is, but they buy gold and silver all the time. So the change will take time to happen, but I think it will happen because Bitcoin has better features than other cryptocurrencies. Now, it's a given that you want to hold the safest money possible. Okay, gold is cash. You get credit for everything else, but you're right. Since 1971, gold has been, taken out of circulation a lot. I always amaze myself. The chart is in the book when I'm writing. In 1971, we were pretty much on the gold standard, so that shows it. It was a deal. It wasn't great. But if you split the amount of money we have by the amount of gold we have, 261 million ounces, you get a price that is close to $35 an ounce. This price was kind of the baseline from Bretton Woods. Today, that math would mean that gold is worth $90,000 an ounce. What does that tell you then? The message says that a lot of money was made. And it makes me laugh every time a Bitcoiner says, well, there's so much value in gold, and it's going to be taken away. I'm not sure what to say. The value advantage has been pretty much beaten out of it because, not many people really see gold as money anymore. For most people, it's just jewelry. I think it's happening faster because the cycles are going faster, the numbers are getting bigger, etc. People have a lot of different ideas about what that means. That means we'll have a lot of Bitcoin in the 30s, right? In fact, I think that's pretty likely. I'm not sure if it will be possible next year, though. That is, right? Inflation, deflation, boom, and bust are all things that happen all the time. There are probably a few more up. At this point, I think the price of Bitcoin will be over $100 by the end of this year and over $200 in a year or two. Of course, they could try to fix the money system, and it might work. That's just how the game is played. Also, the people who run the system are great. They understand how to break the rules. They know how to keep us on our toes, and they'll do anything to keep their system going because it works for everyone. 2008 is a great example. They began to pay interest on the extra funds, which kept all the money they printed from leaving the system and causing prices to rise. A lot of us thought, Okay, this is it back in 2008. Right now, we are going to have hyperinflation. They came up with something to stop that from happening, though. So that's what they will do. To put it another way, they will probably be able to keep the system going. However, I believe they are losing the war. I mean, I joke all the time that I believe Jay Powell is holding a bad hand. That's how I see it. I feel bad for many young people who have never seen a bear market. If you got into this business after 2008, all you know how to do is buy when prices are low. Only up. Yeah, everything is just going up and to the right, and that's because we're putting the pedal to the metal on the money side. By making more money, the stock market can continue to rise. If you look at it in real terms, though, it doesn't look nearly as good. Some people will be mad at me for this, but I think the power law is a pretty good model. We could break it to the upside, but only after 15 years or close to 15 years of price data that wasn't very consistent, about 97%. That is, you can't ignore it. So, we go from tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands to hundreds of thousands to 1 million to 5 million to 10 million. That is, these decades, and I'm not talking about tomorrow, but decades as this better form of money becomes more popular. I believe that's where I'm doing shows. We're all for Bitcoin, and so are you, but honestly, what do you think? I mean, I think it would happen anyway, even if we didn't do all this stuff. It's the better thing to do. I believe we are all doing it because we want it to go faster. I know I'm speeding things up because I want my kids to gain from it. It needs to happen quickly, I think. The world will be better off that way. But it is, and I think it will happen either way because it is the better option. For me, it would mean that it keeps getting better and more people know about it. Of course, we don't have to go full Mad Max, we can just switch to it. It is not possible to switch to a sound money system. To go over this one more time, there will be pain, losers and winners and so on. But like I said, I'm writing a book that I hope will be out by the end of the year, and in it, I talk about a lot of these issues. I hope you guys will read it when I'm done. Lepard also points out that Bitcoin is not a fair bet for everyone. Bitcoin doesn't have a management team that can make bad choices like most businesses do. Because it's controlled by math code, it's a very reliable and predictable tool. This, along with the fact that Bitcoin has a fixed quantity and is becoming more popular, makes it one of the best times to invest in history. Lepard talks about how Bitcoin could change the way we think about money in a big way. He says that Bitcoin is like other new technologies in some ways, such as the fire, the aeroplane, or the radio. These inventions changed the way people lived, and Bitcoin could do the same for the world's banking system. It is a truly revolutionary form of money because it has a fixed amount and can't be changed. I've never seen anything so uneven. What I love about it is that I've always put money into businesses. There's no management team here to mess things up. They are key developers, but in general, there isn't one. Do you get what I mean? It's just math code. Maybe not, unless all the core writers really turn against us and mess it up in some way. I don't think that will happen, and I don't think the nodes would ever agree to that. There is a very good chance that it will happen. Having a high chance of happening and being very unequal is a great mix, then. You don't know what I mean. I wrote it in my book, and I'm not adding to the drama. So there has been debasement of money for every 5,000 years of known history, okay? There is twice as much gold in the world every 50 years.